Help me welcome Nikki Griswold. She is a woman who believes strength is built from the inside out. Through Get Fit with Nick, she has created much more than a gym. She has a space where women feel supported, encouraged, and empowered to become the strongest version of themselves at every stage of life. Around her, the workouts are real, the community is strong, and the ladies get a little Jesus too. Her passion is helping women build confidence, prioritize their health, and realize that it is never too late to start over, get stronger, or chase the life that they really want. She's also a wife, a mom of two gorgeous girls, and mom. Thank you for being here today, Nikki. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
So I have been a personal trainer for many, many years. I got certified after my youngest daughter was about 2, so a lot of years. And I was sharing with you earlier that it's really cool that you reached out to me because we're actually celebrating 10 years of Get Fit with Nick this year, this October. So 10 years ago, the business, and like I said, I'm a personal trainer. I'm a certified nutrition coach, and obviously a wife, a mom, and a mom.
Awesome. That's really exciting. And I remember when you started it because Nikki and I actually go way back. We actually homeschooled our older girls
Yeah.
when they were very little.
Yeah.
So we've been friends for a very long time. And it has been a joy to just watch this business develop and to know how much of an impact you're having in our community locally. So thank you for that. I've
Yes.
seen that evidence and it's really beautiful. All right, so tell us your story. How did you get into this?
So at the time, I was active in the CrossFit gym, local CrossFit gym, and it was like August of 2016. I was in a car accident, nothing major, but just enough to kind of set me back. I had a back injury, and I was pulled away from the CrossFit gym. And while in recovery, in the couple of months that I was away, Jason had mentioned, have you ever thought about just doing some one-on-ones at the gym? And I thought it was so funny because all I had literally was one mat, a set of 15-pound dumbbells, and maybe one other piece of equipment. And I thought, how would I ever do this? But I didn't realize that God was setting up something so beautiful because the next thing I know, someone reached out to me to train them. So I thought, well, okay, I can do this. Took on a few one-on-ones. And honestly, I say October is 10 years, and it technically is. It's when I started with one-on-ones, but it really wasn't until like January, February of the following year that Get Fit with Nick really took off. But yeah, I started with just a couple of one-on-ones, and then word got out, and we started creating groups of ladies, and then it's just blossomed from there. And here we are, 10 years later, going strong.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
going strong. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that. Yes. So tell us also, like during this process, what part of your story has changed you the most?
Oh my word. I will be very honest with you. I have struggled over the years with different struggles. Eating disorder. I've had obsessive training to where I would just, put other things aside, and if my workout didn't get in, I wasn't a happy person. And I
Mhm.
think that by creating this, God's really came in and softened my heart because he has brought so many women at so many different levels of life and fitness to me
Mhm.
that I have learned, they have taught me that, it's okay to not be, we don't want to be on a diet. We want to make this a lifestyle change. So even though all the ladies that come to me think that I'm teaching them that, when really I'm learning as I'm going along with them. So I think the hugest thing for me was learning to love food again and learning to balance food and exercise and teaching them that. I would think that would be the biggest thing for me that I've learned, or how I've changed, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes me think of the verse that says, "Him who waters is also watered."
Mhm.
When we are helping someone, we
Yes.
also get so much
Yes.
help back from that because
Absolutely.
I've experienced that with coaching people as well. It's just such a beautiful trade-off that happens, and it's got to be by God's design since it's in His
Right.
Word, right?
Right. Exactly.
Well, and this kind of segues right into the idea of you sharing with us how has God really shown up in your story? You may have even partly answered that, but I'm sure you have more to share about that.
I do, and there's so many God stories that happen within this gym that just literally, I mean, I would be here all day if I shared all of them with you. But, over the years, Jason and I, so number one, my marriage has strengthened through this. And I don't really know how or why, but we have just grown closer. He is so supportive of this business. We pray together every night. He never leaves out praying for every single woman that comes into my gym. praying for
Wow.
my business. And there are times where I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to close the door. And I don't want to close the door unless God wants the door closed, and He doesn't want the door closed because
Right.
He's always bringing someone else in that needs what we offer here. And he, I've been able to, I've had people that don't believe in Jesus come here and leave believing in Jesus. I've
Yeah.
had, women with health issues that we will literally stop and lay hands on and pray for that have had, a good outcome with their health issue. um, Ladies, I remember one lady years ago reached out to me and she said, I have tattoos. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I have tattoos too. Let's compare
Mhm.
when you start. She
Yeah.
wasn't going to start with us because she thought because we were a Christian gym, I wasn't going to allow her to come with tattoos. So I feel like there's so many stories and so many ladies that have came that have just, left, changed, or still here and working through things. Like it's amazing how God's working in my little garage.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's just right there in your home, which is another
Yes.
wonderful part. You're right
Right.
there at it. It's so convenient for you and for a lot of other people because you're kind of centrally located, local to the local
Yes.
community. It's kind of a nice spot for people to get to you easily. And I've seen you guys
Absolutely.
walking. It's part of it, right? You walk or
Yes.
run.
Yes. We
So
walk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The other thing I will say that has been a blessing is when I first got my business license, the one thing that they told me I couldn't do was park on the side of the road. So I was like, what are we going to do? Well, we have some friends that own the property across the street from us, and they've owned it for years and never done anything with it. And they have graciously let us use that as our own parking. And that to me is a huge God thing because if that was to ever be taken from us, then I would really have to kind of revamp things. I would have to think things. So that's another way God is like, I'm providing, you're going to
Yes.
stay open, God's
Yeah.
showing up. So yeah,
Yes, yes, for sure. That is encouraging because then you do know you have that reassurance that he's leading that way. It's,
exactly.
exactly.
Right.
So all right, so that alone is very encouraging, but I was going to ask you just to share some of the things that you think might encourage our listeners the most because we have a vast audience here. You could have some people listening that don't live here locally, so they can't necessarily partake in what you're offering, but you have things that could encourage them from where they are, or whatever you think would encourage our listeners the most. Could you share some tips with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have online, so we have an online membership for $20 a month, and what that gives them is access to everything but class. I mean, if they lived local, they could come to one class a week that way. But if they live out of state, they can still be part of the community within the Facebook, where all of our videos of our workouts are done. Encouragement, ladies encouraging each other. We have challenges. We try to, I'll do Bible studies sometimes with them
Mhm.
within that group. So that are some things that people that aren't local
Yeah.
could participate in.
Yes, I love that you offer that. I think that's beautiful because that makes it just, there's no limitation on it. Those people that
Right,
aren't local actually can benefit. And I love that
right.
you're offering that. Yeah,
Yes.
that's wonderful. Okay. Is there anything you want to share that maybe we haven't talked through already? Something that's just on your heart to share with our listeners today?
I think that my biggest thing is obviously we're a ladies only gym. And the reason that I did start that was because women feel so uncomfortable going into the gym. And I personally understand that. Maybe not knowing where to start or what to do. So my encouragement to ladies that may not know about us or and is listening to this is just reach out, and you don't have to be fit to work out. There's what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say. You want to start where you're at. And that's the biggest thing about my gym is I meet you where you're at.
Mhm.
If your doctor told you you were overweight and you need to lose weight, then I'm meeting you right there.
Mhm.
If your blood work isn't good, I'm meeting you right there. Like you
Mhm.
don't have to be a certain weight, a certain fit level to start with us.
Mhm.
Like we
Mhm.
want to work with you where you're at. And that would probably be my biggest thing to encourage ladies to not be afraid to reach out, whether it's
Mhm.
online or in person, just reach out because
Yeah.
we've got something for everybody.
Yes, it sounds like you really do. I love that. And, I was just thinking, as you said, ladies only, I'm sure you've had experiences with this where maybe the lady has joined the gym, but the husband's also benefiting because if one's getting in shape, I'm sure they're encouraged. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
they
Like the
are.
husband too.
Yes, they are. And I know that some of my ladies, especially my online ladies, their husbands will do the workouts with them at their house.
Right.
And
Mhm.
yeah, it's so, yeah, definitely.
That's really neat. There's a big ripple effect that could happen even down the line, like as far as like even the kids seeing them do that, and then they can
Oh yeah,
join in, and that's just beautiful. So you
yeah.
mentioned about connecting. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's another things I encourage ladies. If you don't have a babysitter, bring your babies. We have a little kids corner. If they're old enough, they can grab some very light weights and participate with their mamas. Like I want their kids seeing them work out, and I don't want a lack of babysitter to keep them from coming. Like their babies are welcome. So that's another big thing.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, because I definitely can relate to that. Back in the early years, for me,
Right.
that definitely kept me out of any gym for a good season, just not
Exactly.
knowing. And so that's a great gift that you offer. So
Yes.
you mamas that are listening to this, make sure you heard that. If you're
Yeah.
local and you want to bring your baby, she's welcome. I know Nikki loves babies. I've seen her
Yes,
love
I
on
do.
babies.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So, all right, you mentioned about them reaching out to you. So I want to make sure everyone is listening. You know that you will be able to reach out to Nikki through the show notes below. We will have all the ways you can connect with her. You can get involved with her local community, with her online community. If you have questions, they can reach out. Nikki is very easy to talk with, and just an expert really in this whole idea of helping women, as she says, build that strength from the inside out. So thank you so much for being with us today, Nikki. I
Yes.
just so appreciate you and I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.